keeping the lives going like we said that we would. I am over here on ChatGPT asking a few questions, but today's topic is going to be how pros blow money. How do pros blow money? We're keeping on with the series, the Money Playbook, and today's breakdown is basically we'll talk about how I blew my money. Let's just take it back to what I did with my money when I first started. Now let me think. Let me just trickle back. Trickle back down to the early beginnings of my career and just I like to think back on these times and just wonder what was my thoughts during those times. Like what was I focused on? What was the main thing that was like on my mind at the time? One clearly was getting a job. Like all I knew was to get a basketball job. Like I was trying to get paid playing basketball. I was just trying to get a job hooping. And that's one thing that nobody really gave me an earlier experience on getting a job the first time as a pro. That was difficult. That was difficult because, as I said before, I had got a job. And we didn't take the deal for Qatar. Got the job, didn't take the deal, lost the deal. Really good deal for a first time in Middle East and stuff like that. Like I said, it was a really good deal. It was for about $4,000 a month, rookie contract in Qatar. Ask a lot of ask a lot of vets that's been in the game, that type of contract. I got a homeboy that's been playing over 10 years, and he's not making that now. Let that sink in. He's not making over 4K in a contract now, and he's been playing over 10 years. That just shows you how good and relevant that job was during that time. Even 12 years later, that's still a good gig. I wouldn't take it now because I'm just in a whole nother stage of my career and progression, and that doesn't really do anything for me in my life now. It's just certain money I just can't take because it's just detrimental to what I'm trying to do in life. You know what I'm saying? Like I have too many other things that I'm growing and progressing and doing to take that now. But if I had to and I had no other choice, hey, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not saying that for anybody else's situation. I'm just speaking on my situation, where I'm at now, and even compared to that job back then. My whole thought process was trying to get on just to get on the basketball scene. And it's just the road is just so difficult because you think the people that you hire or the people that you work with beforehand is going to give you all the right answers and the right things that you should do in order to be successful. The guy that I was an agent with, he told me, hey, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even got to worry about, we got this job, we're just going to put it in. I still remember exactly where I was at. I was going to the club with my cousin when they sent me the contract. He sent it. We didn't sign it. He told me we're going to sit on it. By the time we told me, oh, we're going to go back and sign, they Ben went on with somebody else, man. What you don't know. However, when I did finally start playing and I started making some money, my first season, shoot, I was on probation for a DUI I had in college, so I was using that money to pay the little money that I had. We was getting paid about $3,000. The first ever deal I got, other than after Mexico when I went to Colombia, that was a bad gig. I talked about it plenty of times, but we only got paid half. So out of the whole stint, I stayed 3 months in Colombia. I only got paid $1,400, $1,500, meaning they paid me half of my first month's check, and we never got any more money after that. They abandoned us, left us there. It was just a whole ordeal. But when I actually started making some money, like 2, 3 seasons in, I started making some money. Like I wouldn't say a lot of money, but I started having money coming in. This is no kids, no house, no nothing, no assets, no nothing. So I just had money coming in. So I was just using it just to live, going shopping, buying hella clothes that I don't even, of course, not wearing today. Just buying things that don't really matter, not stacking and putting bread. I used to put some bread in a little safe that I had in the crib. but I wasn't really stacking no bread for real. Like I wasn't using it. I was just using it on buying clothes because we had a little. I was in Colombia, so things were cheap. They had a little mall area, 4 or 5 stories with a hella stuff there, and I'm just going there and oh, I want this, and I want a new video game, and I want this, and you say, well, you're getting paid, so you might as well take care of yourself. And a lot of times, it's this misconception that everybody always put like, oh, you got to take care of yourself, and you got to make sure you get the fruits of your labor, and this and that, and you work hard for your money to take care of. And it's like, yes, that is true, but within good reason and within good system. Because just because you have the money coming in and you do not manage it correctly, it will quickly evade you and elude you in different ways that you never expected it to be. So when I started having some money coming in, I was using that. I was using it for an apartment. Instead of going and staying inside the place where they were staying, I went early to go live with my ex-wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, and stayed in Colombia. It's a whole nother story, another time. But I stayed there. Guess what? I'm paying for rent. I'm just willingly going to go pay for rent instead of going home and waiting because I was coming back the next season there anyways. And so instead of going home for those couple of months, I decided to stay home and you spend on just living and doing this. And I'm in another country and I'm using all my money from the last season to pay for where I'm staying at. And I'm doing that. I put money in the bank. Guess what happened to the money in the bank? The bank stole the money. Guess what? You're in another country. Oh, the system shut down and somebody came and they stole all the money in the bank through digital and we can't get it back to you. I think that broad robbed me. That's what I really think. I think that broad had that money in the bank and she robbed me. That's what I really think. Keep it a buck, I think that's exactly what happened. I think that broad lied about a lot of stuff and that's a different story for another day. But you live and you learn. Me making decisions on that's another thing that you blow money on. Females. You spend a lot of money on females. Pros blow a lot of money on females, and it's so true. And now I think it's so crazy that reflection just came back to me. If I would have just went home, I wouldn't have spent all that money getting a hotel. Think about it. We had to stay in hotels after the season was over with. Then buy flights, man, hotels, this hotel, that hotel, live in here. And then you don't even think about it because, oh, I got money. And it starts to add up. Oh, it's cheap. Starts to add up. Oh, I need this. It's cheap. It's this. Starts to add up. No money coming in. 2 months out of the year, no money coming in here and there. You're just living and doing whatever here and there. So it's kind of like, this is where the money is going. So, got a relationship. Just being honest. This is how I blew a lot of my money earlier on in my year. My first beginning of the years. I took that money and I flew my mom out. Not saying it for her birthday. Not saying that was wrong or that wasn't a good thing to do, but I didn't manage the money that I had prior in order to take care of. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this and do that. But you just start seeing the money slip here and there, slip through the cracks, and none of it stack up because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing with the money when you got it. Like I wasn't putting some to the side. Like I always say, if you just took out 10%, if I was just taking out 10% of every check, I was getting what? At that time when I went to Colombia that second time, I was probably getting 2,000 a month. So it's not a lot of bread. And at that time, I was getting like 2,000 a month. I think we was getting paid like 2,000 a month. I was just taking 200 and putting to the side. And that was 2015 when I went to that team. 2015. It's 2025 now, 10 years. I'm not making no $2,000 a month now, but think about it. Even if I was like over from there, even if you were taking that 200 and you next season I made like 3.5, 4, then the next 5, and then the next 6. But the point is, if I had the discipline and the strategy and the understanding to take money and put it to the side, invest 10% of this, 10% of this, 10% of this, and I'm just taking this money and not even touching it, not knowing, but that is taking care of yourself. That is what a real pro vet should have told me from the jump. Put the money to the side. Take 10% of your bread that you make from this, put it to the side. Stack that, learn about finances, get your credit right, and open you up a business. These are the things that I needed somebody to be telling me about money. Hey, you need to get your credit right. That helps you with that's money, credit. You need to be working on your credit while you're overseas. Get you a credit card, keep it paid up, keep it up to 90% paid. Use it for here and there, but don't use it too much. Keep it paid up 90%. Your credit gonna go up a lot faster. That's one strategy that everybody can do that I just learned along the way that would have ultimately helped me out in my financial journey down the road. But I just, once again, no one told me. I had no idea. So I'm just spending my money on shoes. Now it's crazy because now I'm thinking about, just thinking back on all the things that I'm getting paid at that time because I stayed with my ex-wife at the time, she was my girlfriend at the time, stayed there, had to go through all these type of things with immigration and this and that. So I'm using money every day, spending on just unnecessary things, all because I made one decision in the first time, not going home. And that cost me just for years because I'm still spending, trying to catch up and take care of things that I got to take care of because now I'm in cahoots with the government over my immigration. It's crazy. One decision. Females be a big decision for most men, and that's just realistic. Women be a big reason why most people go broke. Most players go broke because they live in the lifestyle when they get overseas. And when you get over here, the money don't. I remember making a video about this one time, and I was just talking about just your mindset and concept of how you view money overseas. In America, we're used to dollars and things and, our currency. So when you're not using your currency, the concept of the money doesn't really seem too realistic to me. It's a weird concept, but, I wish I had my wallet on me right here real quick. I would have showed you like $1,000 peso here in Uruguay is worth $25. It's worth $25. However, to me, it's just a 1,000 peso. So it don't have the same emotional attachment to me because I didn't grow up with this currency. And that's so crazy that I think about that. The emotional attachment that I have to the American dollar is a lot different from other countries because I'm so used to seeing the American dollar and having the attachment of seeing the value and the worth $100 and this and stuff. And growing up, what that meant to me and the emotions that I have attached to it. So I spend it or I use it differently. Compared to the money here, you use it frivolously because it's like, it's monopoly. So you just it don't seem like it makes, but that's how it works. Especially speaking of myself, when I'm overseas and I'm using different currencies, it doesn't really sink in because you don't have that emotional connection to that dollar, to that peso, to that yen or whatever. You just whatever because you don't have that emotional connection to it like your own currency. So you use it without concern. That's what I'm trying to say. You use it without concern. So these are just some things that, it's more psychological than anything because, like I said, we're all a product of what we've seen and taken. I was listening to, I think it was Jim Rome this morning. I always listen to some motivational stuff in the morning. I think I was listening to some Jim Rome or whatever, and he was just talking about, just your emotional connection to things. Kind of got off topic from where I was going about that. He said something in relevance and kind of reference to what I was talking about now. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? The environment that you're in dictates a lot. And how my environment that I grew up in, like I was saying earlier, just didn't have any vets in it, teaching me about these things and telling me about these things and realizing how this affected my money. One vet that he did tell me when I went to I went to Thailand and I was there, but I was probably like, this was 2018 now, so 4 or 5 years into my career. Still had the same bad money habits. Now I've been divorced and went through all that. So now I really don't have any money to stack upon like that. I did bounce back, good season, championships and stuff like that, but still bad money habits. Because when I went to Thailand, yeah, I was bringing in money and the money started to stack up, but I was just still spending it frivolously. And he said something to me one time that made a lot of sense. And it was like, some guys, especially in Thailand, he's like, some guys come out here and they just lose it because the nightlife, that's another thing guys spend they spend their money on. It's the nightlife. The nightlife. I think we was talking about psychology with Jim Rohn, the psychology of the money that you have. The psychology that we have, when it comes to money, there was no one giving us game. There was no one talking and putting into our head, you working on your credit? Hey, did you set up your LLC? Hey, did you put it into your insurance? These are the type of conversations that we need to be having, and we wasn't having because when I was growing up, it's like you had it, so you took care of it. You took care of things. That's just the nature of when we grew up. Like an OG that I had who used to take me to money tournaments and take care of us at the money tournaments and stuff. He just took care of everything. You boys pull up, I'm gonna cover your costs, I'm gonna cover your food and your hotel. Cool. That was it. Not, hey, this is what I do to be able to cover this. This is what I did after. This is what I did with my money while. This is what I avoided. You got to avoid a lot of these females. And that's like, not saying avoid females, but avoid the life, the party life, the this and that type of life, because it costs and prices are going up. It's not the same. If you're going to court, talking to that to one of my homeboys, if you're going to court, meaning you're going to go out and you're going to be with females and you're going to go out and have the nightlife, you got to have the money. You out here trying to be broke and be a broke boy and try to scam off of people. I don't know the people who do that. They probably do. I'm just not that type of person. But if you're going to go out and you're going to, just as a man, like even now, it's just like that bravado, or maybe it's the ego, or maybe that it's just the times that we in. Once you go out with a female or you're going out, you're going to spend money. I know myself, if I ever went out with a female or any type of situation, I'm going to spend money. You're going to, it's not even a concept of it's not happening. That's what it is. You're going to spend some bread. That's just how it works. You're going to spend some bread. Once you get the money, you're going to spend some bread. Especially when you're going with these females. You got to. There ain't no other way. You know what I'm saying? So the whole concept of growing up without someone, and that's what I want to change and say, you know what, now you don't have an outlet. You don't have an excuse to say, no one didn't tell me. No one didn't tell me about money. No one didn't tell me what I didn't need to blow on, what I blew it on, or what I need to avoid blowing it on. You need to avoid blowing it on. Before you do anything with your bread, you need to put some up. Roth IRA, insurance, stocks, assets, real estate. So it has to be going towards something that where your money can grow through assets. That's the first thing you should do. Whatever the vehicle that is for you, you need to find it and find it first. Highly before you start playing basketball. Find your vehicle where you're going to put your money before you start getting your money. What is the vehicle that you're going to use? And I understand we're so locked into the game of basketball, but I have to challenge everyone who is a hooper on any stage. It's not only about the basketball life. You have to also live the life too, because if you can understand the financial life, it's your money. No one is going to care about it. No one's going to take care of it. No one's going to grow it. No one's going to make sure it does what it needs to do more than you. It's yours. You have to manage it correctly. You have to grow it correctly. You have to invest it correctly. It's up to you. And I think sometimes as basketball players, we get so caught up in the life of basketball that we forget about what we do with what we're earning in the life of basketball. You play basketball because you love it, yes. But at the end of the day, it is a job. It is a career that pays you for a living. Part of what people play basketball for is because it gives you a great living Yeah, you love playing basketball, but you also love the lifestyle that comes with basketball too. And I think we've been just explained and showed and taught more of the lifestyle instead of what comes with that lifestyle and what to avoid in that lifestyle. That's all I got for today, man. I will holler at you guys tomorrow with another video. See you then.